Let us talk about industry trends. We've talked about all sorts of trends on this show. Fashion trends, we do that all the time. We sometimes are hip and we talk about the latest trends on TikTok.
We're hip?
Occasionally,
Who
we
wrote
talk about
that?
TikTok.
But one we really love to focus on are food trends. Here to help us amp up some popular recipes with beef, we welcome Becky Church of Minnesota Beef Council. Hi there, Becky.
Hi, Becky.
Hi guys, that's right. We're here to make it basic, but make it with beef. That's how we roll.
Listen, I love the sound of this, and we're starting with avocado toast. Still all the rage. Hipsters love it. The rest of us don't get it, but you're gonna make us love it by adding
really
something
love
great
it.
to it. Do you love it?
It's so good.
You're right. So we just started with your favorite toast. I use Texas toast for something a little thicker. If you're doing this, see for the hashtag health, you can go ahead and make that whole grain. Then you just top with your favorite avocado guac, homemade. So I like to put mashed avocados with minced garlic, fresh lime juice, and then some salt and pepper to taste. You whip that up and then just top with steak. So any steak you have on hand, this time of year, if you're not wanting to hit up your grill, you can use a cast iron skillet. And this just takes it from, kind of more snack level to a complete meal, because now you have your carb, your healthy fat, your protein, and everything's better with beef.
What kind of steak do you put on top? That looks pretty thinly sliced. What do you have there?
So flank steak is something that I would recommend just because it's easy. Like you said, you can thinly slice that. It's a leaner cut. Otherwise, if you have sirloin on hand, that works well. This is even strip steak. So like I said, it's all about convenience and what you have. So this is something you can make easily for lunch here if you're trying to homeschool or help your kids virtually learn, and you need something to fill you up and keep you fueled throughout the day too.
That boost of protein from the steak, because I've never had avocado toast.
You haven't?
But I would love it. Maybe I had it on the show once and forget. I'm sure I would love it. I love toast. I love avocados. And I really love steak. So if we're adding that to it to give it that protein punch, I think that's fabulous.
Yeah, it looks so good. Okay, now we're going to make beef breakfast pizza.
Yes, Becky.
Yeah, two of my favorite things, breakfast plus pizza combined here. So it's super simple. You can actually start with refrigerated pizza crust. So an 11 by 14, I just rolled on out here onto a cutting board. And then I'm putting it on parchment paper so I can easily slide it right onto a cookie sheet to bake in the oven. Makes cleanup really easy later. But to start, I have ground beef, again, left over from earlier in the week. Or, if you had Taco Tuesday extra ground beef, use that here because it's going to have a Mexican taste anyway. Or if you bash hook beef in advance, maybe Sunday meal prep, you make 2 pounds of beef, brown it, and then you can separate it and use it throughout the week for easy meals like this. So I have that ground beef with a half a cup of salsa, and you're just going to spread it right on to the pizza crust.
Is the salsa almost like in lieu of the pizza sauce?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and you can use salsa verde. You can use your, classic salsa. If you want to add a little spice, do that. So whatever works for you and whatever you have on hand, really.
Okay, so once you get that there and you've got it on the rolled out pizza crust, anything else that we put on it before it goes into the oven? Because I'm curious about the cook time for this.
Yeah, good question. So here I have some diced tomatoes. We'll just sprinkle this on. Again, fast and easy. You can get the kids involved. Here's some green onions. Of course, some cheddar cheese. I have the Mexican blend I like.
I was wondering what kind of cheese we were going to go with. Any cheese is good for me, but this is great. Okay, so now we've got it all set. Can I guess?
Wait. There was an egg in the picture, though. Can you put an egg on there?
Yeah, so here now I'm just going to dig some holes here, make some little wells. And you can do 6, however you have room for, however many eggs you want. And then you literally just have your cracked egg and dump it right into the wells you make.
Oh.
And then they'll bake perfectly like that. You pop it in the oven at 425 for about 20 minutes. And that's going to, 20 minutes or until the eggs are cooked to your liking.
Okay.
And then here's kind of what it looks like when it's finished.
I love Brenner. This would be a great Brenner, breakfast for dinner.
Yeah, and that's that's very fancy looking too. Becky, anytime you put an egg on something, it's just like, oh, this feels very, very elevated and fancy. Okay, we have got to talk about two of my favorite things coming together, which is steak and the air fryer. I think the air fryer is fantastic. I think not enough people have them. More of us need to use them. But usually I'm thinking of like chicken nuggets, reheating fries are perfect in it, but you're going steak. Tell me how to do this.
Right, we're leveling up, Steve. So think chicken nuggets, but with beef. So we're talking beef nuggets
Yes,
today.
please.
So this is my first time using an air fryer too, Steve, actually. If you're not aware, for viewers at home, what an air fryer is, it's kind of a convection oven. So it just circulates air and will cook your food kind of in half the time versus, you know, all the oil that a deep fryer would take. So it just cuts that time in half, I should say, and makes things super easy. So what I did here is I took a steak. If you're going to the grocery store to get your steak, or even your local meat market, you can ask your butcher to cut your steak into like 3/4 inch or 1 inch cubes, and they'll do that for you, and that's going to save you even more time when you get home. As far as what steak to use, again, this is versatile. You could use sirloin. I've made this with skirt steak. You could use a ribeye if you want to get wild. The options are endless, okay?
Okay.
And just go ahead and put it right into a Ziploc bag, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of olive oil. And then I have a spice mixture here of garlic powder, onion powder, and steak rub, and then salt and pepper.
And then you just shake the bejesus out of that bag. You get it all mixed together, and then the flavor is going to be there. But let's talk about how we get to finish. We've got about 30 seconds left. What is the what's the temperature that you do in there, and how long?
So I dump this right into the sprayed bottom of the air fryer at 400 for 5 minutes, Steve. So you can have dinner in 5.
That's
Faster
great.
chicken nuggets, healthier, tastes good, everyone's happy.
Well, and because they're chopped up smaller, you've got them cubed, and then that heat, as long as you have them spaced out appropriately so that they all get the same access to that convection style heat, bada bing, bada boom, you get a nice crust there too, thanks to the olive oil.
Outside, yeah, crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, super good.
You could make like a dipping sauce, man.
Sure you could. A chimichurri sauce that you wanted to
good.
dip it into.
Wow.
Becky, thank you as
Yum.
always. Great
Thank
to have you on the
you.
show. We posted these recipes on TwinCitiesLive.com. You can also find a link to Minnesota Beef Council's website with additional meal ideas. They have nutrition information and workouts. If you've not been on their website, by the way, mnbeef.org.
Yeah, great recipes.
And if you feel kind of like a dummy when you go to the butcher and you don't know what's a flank steak
Well, she said if you
versus
want
a
to get
skirt
wild,
steak,
get a ribeye, and I didn't know what that even meant.
you can
Why
go
is
on-
that wild?
It will educate you on what all of the cuts are so that you feel more empowered, but they always say,
Yes.
don't be afraid. Talk to your butcher. The
Oh, I
butchers are lonely.
always say, what's the steak that my kids won't cut, like won't kill, like cut all the fat off? Like I want
Sure.
something they'll just eat.
Yes.
And they tell
And
me.
then the butcher tells you because they're nice.
No, still to come.